All right, welcome back to All Things Pelvic Floor. I brought my lovely little pelvis here to show you a few muscle and structures down here where your pelvic floor lives. So, I talked about how your pelvic floor is at the base of your pelvis, right? Well, I'm going to flip this over here and I'm just going to kind of get us situated here. Here's your tailbone, so your sacrum, coccyx. Here's your pubic symphysis here in front. So if we were looking at it with my pelvis sitting here, this is what it looks like. I'm just flipping it over for us so that we can see everything. So we have a structure called the levator ani. It is a group of muscles that make up the pelvic floor, and it's a group of 3 muscles. I'm not going to break those down for you. We can do that at a later date, but I do want to point out that the levator ani lives right here, wraps around your rectum and back. If we look here, here's our vaginal canal. Here is where your pubis comes out. Here is where your poop comes out. Here's the rectal sphincter right there. So you'll see where you have the urethra, you have the vaginal vault, and then you have the rectum. You have the levator ani that is kind of circling back around and back towards that front triangle. Now also we have the coccygeus muscles. So these guys are back here. It connects into the coccygeus, kind of makes sense, right? So those guys are towards the posterior, towards the back. But then I also want to point out something else. The obturator internus is not considered a technical pelvic floor muscle, but I always like to consider it one just because of how close in relationship to the pelvic floor it is, but also how we can affect the obturator internus and in turn affect the pelvic floor. So this guy lives on the inside here of our sit bones. So here's our sit bones. Again, pubic symphysis, tailbone, sit bones. It connects to the sit bone right here and then it comes forward in front. I'm going to flip it over. It connects from right here all the way up in front. So sometimes we are able to affect the obturator internus muscles just under towards the inside of the sit bones to affect the pelvic floor. So it's always good to be aware of where your obturator internus is in relationship to your pelvis. So that is the pelvic floor muscles. Hopefully that breaks it down for you. Again, the levator ani sits in front, wrapping around the rectum. Coccygeus is towards the back. And then also, don't forget about your obturator internus. It is very important.